What's up, everyone? I'm the Astro Mama. I bring the cosmos down to earth to help ground deep feelers, creatives, and mystics. So if you fall into any of those categories, go ahead and tune in to your Astro weather forecast for the week of March 2nd to the 8th, 2026, where I go over some of the major astrological transits happening so you can swim with the cosmic current instead of against it. We start off this week on Monday, March 2nd, bright and early in the morning around 4:34 a.m. Pacific time. The moon will be entering Virgo. And then later on in the morning, around 6:16 a.m. Pacific time, Mars will be entering Pisces. So we have the moon, the celestial body that can rule our emotions, our internal world, what we need to feel stable and secure in this life, and also our mother is entering the sign of Virgo, the organizer, the doer, the go-getter, as we're gearing up for the Virgo lunar eclipse. As we're gearing up for the Virgo lunar eclipse tomorrow. Now, Mars is the planet of action, how we assert our will, our drive, our passions, sex, and also war. That planet is going into this watery, dreamy, mystical, compassionate, and creative sign and psychic of Pisces. So, and then that moon in Virgo will be opposing Pisces. So what does this mean for Monday and the way that you might start your day? Well, first, I want you to think about how much of the Pisces right now, or much of the cosmos right now, are anchored into Pisces and Aries placements. So right now we have the sun in Pisces, we have now Mars in Pisces, we have Venus in Pisces, we have Mercury in Pisces, the North Node is in Pisces, and then we have Neptune, Saturn, and Chiron in Aries. There's kind of like this interesting conversation happening around Aries qualities of being the trailblazer and being the authority figure and being the go-getter and the one who initiates and starts. It's the fiery cardinal sign. It's the one that goes first, that sets the tone, that sets the rhythm for the way that we all kind of move around. It's like the Piscean energy, the last of the zodiac, the eldest, the wise sage, the mystical, compassionate one, the one who is maybe less connected to this physical world, as Aries rules the first house, which is the traveler, the experiencer, and the body, our physical vessel. So Aries is very much of the body, and Pisces rules the 12th house of the mystical, the other world, dissolving of boundaries, creativity, and sometimes love, as it is the higher octave of Venus. So you think about, as it's ruled by Neptune, who's the higher octave of Venus, but think about these, these two they seem to be polar opposite signs and energies, tug of war in the cosmos right now. However, the zodiacal wheel follows a story, and you can track this with tracking your own transits. The fastest moving celestial body is the moon. So if you want, you could check your transits pretty much like every day for, whatever 12 times 2.5 is for, over 24 days, to watch the moon move through each sign. To watch the moon move through each house, and you can tell that it has this story. And so the story between the 12th house and the first house is 12th house is isolation, solitude, the spiritual realms, what's hidden, what's revealed to you. And then once you kind of go through that experience of whatever planet is moving through or the celestial body is moving through that house, then we go into the first house of self, and how do I wear this now? How do I utilize or look at what I created in private, what I created in this maybe more mystical, spiritual, metaphysical experience into my body? And then that shows outwardly into the world. And we all know this, right? Have you seen, there's a video circulating on Instagram of a woman who she shows what she looks like when she's listening to positive affirmations and when she's talking nicely to herself. And then she shows what happens when her internal dialogue shifts. And you can literally visually see it on this person's face. You can see at the beginning, they seem very magnetic and beautiful and happy. And you start to watch over time, their face starts to droop. It's almost like the light comes out of their skin and their eyes, their vibrancy dissipates. And that happens to us as humans, right? It's like what we're doing internally, the way we're talking to ourselves, the way that we're navigating our spiritual journey, our private lives, it impacts the way that we radiate outwardly. And we're always radiating something, whether we know it or not. But we have the ability to choose, what is it that I want to radiate? And I'm saying this because technically one could move from a place of just self-love and wanting to feel good, wanting to love yourself and nurture yourself, and that inspires you. But for many of us, especially those of us who are Piscean in nature, we tend to be kind of self-sacrificial. I think Pisces and Virgo have that in common. Moon's in Virgo, Mars is in Pisces. So there's a self-sacrificial energy in the air too right now. So if it helps, maybe you can dedicate the internal work you're doing and the kind words that you're saying to yourself to being able to show up more fully to serve other people. And we can maybe start there. And then from there, you can go into the journey of also just realizing that you're valuable on your own outside of the way that you relate to others and to have that experience. But sometimes we have to meet ourselves, meet each other where we are at, and take the steps that feel good at first before we can start to anchor in the challenge. It's like taking the challenge one bite at a time. Now, these energies of, last thing I'll say about Pisces and Aries is they can learn a lot from each other. So Pisces can learn from Aries how to be a go-getter, how to be motivated, how to be self-sufficient, how to start things, how to be bold and courageous, and also to be in this physical body that Pisces placements we like to get out of all the time. That's the tendency is, okay, how can we get out of this body? Because Pisces energy is so sensitive. I've spoken about this before. Pisces energy is so sensitive. Pisces energy feels everything so deeply. We feel the textures of the earth beneath our feet. We feel the emotions of everybody at the grocery store. We feel what's not being said. Scorpio has a little bit of this too, but especially Pisces is like, we feel the unseen realms at all times. And so there's a tendency, and other very spiritual people have this too of other signs, to leave because you're like, this is too much. I can't literally hold all of this. However, we are spiritual beings having a human experience. So if we are constantly dissociating or leaving the body, then we're neglecting ourselves of the physical experience. And then also our physical reality starts to get really shaky and unpredictable. And you could be prone to illness and injuries and things like that. So we want to avoid being out of the body, come into the body. That's what we can learn from Aries. Aries can learn from Pisces how to be more compassionate, how to be more connected to universal love and to serving others and to donating their time and their energy for causes, and maybe being a little bit more gentle and soft when the moment requires of it. So there's a beautiful balance that can come from these two energies marrying each other together in the cosmos. Today, the moon is in Virgo. Typically, when the moon is in Virgo, I would say, this is a good day to go to the DMV, to go to the doctors, to post on social media, or to do the thing that you need to do that requires a lot of detail and like intellect. However, because the moon is opposing Mars today, you could be feeling a little restless. You could be feeling a little emotionally charged. You could be feeling a little triggered. And so this is a good time to kind of channel that restless energy into a good workout, into cleaning, into finally doing that thing that you really need to do. And I want to say that the world feels like it's on fire right now for deep feelers, healers, and creatives and mystics. Y'all might be feeling it more intensely than others. And also too, like, we see these horrible things happening in the world, and it's normal and natural to be affected by them and to want to help people. And I'm never going to be the person who's like, you should go onto a mountaintop and just avoid everything that's happening in the world and peace, love, and light and focus on you. But we can't pour from empty cups. And if you overexert yourself to the point of burnout, then you're not able to help anybody anyway. What can happen is we feel this like intense heat in the body, this restlessness. It's like, I just want to support people. I want to help. I feel so much rage at what's happening right now in the world. Pause, slow down, and focus on what you can control. Because a lot of the time, some of that rage is definitely associated with the horrors that we're seeing. And some of it is also frustration with the lack of ability to control it. Frustration with the lack of ability to change things. But I think, there was this thing that was going around about like shock and awe, and how some political people use this tactic of just like bombarding you with so much information so that you're in shock and awe. And they kind of lessens your ability to think critically about what's happening step by step, action by action, because you're like, I need to figure out what is going on right now. I literally don't know what's happening. It feels crazy. So a way to combat that is to focus on things that you can control. And then from that place, you can have a more level head to be able to learn and figure out what's going on and then support in finding a solution. Sometimes a great way to combat restlessness is by being brave. Let's say that you are on the bus or something and you see that somebody is making fun of an unhoused person and you feel this rage in your body. It's like channeling that energy into like a sacred fire of supporting and protecting somebody is another great way that you could utilize this energy today. Because sometimes being protective of somebody is the most constructive thing you can do. Welcome to Tuesday, 3/3, March 3rd. Happy Virgo lunar eclipse and full moon. This exacts today at 3:34 a.m. Pacific time, and congratulations. You have graduated this particular eclipse season, which began with the Aquarius new moon and solar eclipse on February 17th. So you might want to look and see in your chart which house, and whole sign you can just pull your chart in the whole sign house system and look at what house rules Virgo, and then Placidus would be a little bit more intricate. But for the most part, let's all just start there because that's going to give us a really big umbrella of how this energy could be impacting you today. And while the last eclipse was focused on new beginnings, new experiences, expansion, maybe with it being in Aquarius in an innovative way, in a humanitarian way, in a community way, in a different way that you've done things before. In order for something new to be created, something else must die. And that sounds really intense. I don't mean necessarily like literally death. I mean more so that, everybody likes to talk about manifesting new things. Like, let's manifest the new year, new you, new moon, new you. What are you calling in? The vision boards and the affirmations and creating something new. But we forget to talk about the death cycle of letting go of what was holding that place first. What do I mean by that? Well, let's say that you have a pattern where you were told when you were a kid that you were ugly and fat and weird or whatever. And so you've been telling yourself as you move into adulthood, I'm ugly and fat and weird. Nobody's ever going to love me. Nobody is attracted to me, yet whatever. Well, in order to manifest that new thing that you want, let's say that now you're in this manifestation practice of calling in a partner. And so you're journaling and you're scripting and you're making the vision board and you're going to speed dating events. And yet there's something that's not clicking. Well, what needs to happen first is that belief that you're fat, weird, and ugly or whatever that was for you has to die first. We can't just, when we have an affirmation and we're just like, I'm going to do affirmations and we don't heal the original emotion or thought, we're just putting a Band-Aid on it. And the Band-Aid does help. The Band-Aid does help. It gets you to a place of being able to, like, if you scrape your leg open and it's bleeding and you put a Band-Aid on it, okay, now we can walk to the doctor or we can get into the car and go to the emergency room for them to then stitch it up. Okay? So it's not that Band-Aids aren't useful because they are. Sometimes we need that. Like sometimes we need to have something to get us through the healing process. But the deep healing work is what is beneficial around like, I need to actually create a new belief. Because otherwise I'm going to look at that person. So if I might either A, might not attract somebody that is healthy for me, or B, I might look at them for validation. I'm looking at this person now to tell me that I'm beautiful, smart, and I don't know, funny. And that's not going to really support you because what happens when that relationship ends? And this isn't to scare you, but every relationship in life has an expiration date. Every single one. Whether you go through a breakup, a friendship breakup, a relationship breakup, we have soul contracts with people. Every soul contract with people eventually ends. And also we have soul contracts with earth and with life. So all of us, we die at some point. Our life ends. We go into a new chapter, a new beginning. I believe in reincarnation. So we become into this new body. The spirit lives forever, but the body dies. So when you're in a relationship with someone, it's a risk, of course, because either A, you could break up, or B, one of you will both die at some point. So nothing is permanent. But however, when we start to work with the knowing that nothing is permanent and prepare yourself to be in the fullest experience of living life while it's happening and being in these connections and seeing them through. seeing the connections through all the way through to the potential of what the two of you can create in whatever way you're meant to, then you know that you lived that. You honored the contract, and both of your souls can then rest in knowing that perhaps these lessons that you had in the past, you don't have to revisit again. That's a very specific message. I don't know who that was for, but take it if it landed, leave it if it doesn't. Otherwise, we are all really going to be releasing something in that Virgo area of your chart. Maybe, especially if you have, like, let's say Virgo rules your 6th house, right? So you're probably an Aries rising, but maybe not. Virgo rules your 6th house. You might have perfectionist tendencies when it comes to health and wellness and fitness in your day-to-day operations. And maybe you have some kind of experience that happens with this eclipse where you can't do that. Like maybe your child needs more energy of you and you can't go to the gym that day, or you need to work more hours at your job or something like that. And you can't be as strict with your pickleball routine because you need to go to work. So things could happen where you're being tested around, can you release the perfectionist component of this? Because Virgo energy at its detriment is perfectionistic, kind of a little bit nitpicky, a little bit judgy, but at its light aspect and its exaltation, it is organized and it is compassionate and it's a service-based maiden archetype. So we want to kind of release the perfectionist tendencies of where you have Virgo in your chart, let those beliefs, those structures, those systems, maybe some relationships dissipate so that you can be in this more balanced energy of service and kindness and organization and attention to detail, but not obsession with detail. After somewhat of an intense beginning of the week, things do kind of sweeten up a little bit. We're going to talk about Wednesday and Thursday now, where we have some more juicy, beneficial energy, softer energy to work with. On Wednesday, March 4th, at 8:40 a.m., Venus, the planet of love, beauty, finances, going to be making a sextile to Uranus in Taurus. That's called a soft flow of energy, supportive flow of energy. You could be having some ahas, some epiphanies, some kind of spontaneous electric shocks or changes or shifts when it comes to those areas of your life. Uranus is the planet of electricity and abrupt change. And sometimes the lightning bolts we get hit with are positive and nourishing. You might find that you open up your bank account and you have this random tax return that got deposited. Or you might find that you get a 5% raise at your end of the year professional review. Or you might find you get a sweet text from your partner or somebody that you're interested in that brightens your day up. So there could be this kind of like, this is exciting, this nice little blessing, surprise blessing when it comes to beauty, finances, and love today. So energy is also supported with La Luna, the moon, who is entering Libra today at 10:56 a.m. Pacific time. When the moon is in Libra, we tend to feel more lovely. We're aiming to have some harmony in our connections. We're aiming to have a beauty ritual possibly, or create some art, and also to seek and advocate for justice, as Libra does rule the justice system as well. You know, this could be a good time to, especially with Venus sextile Uranus, to find a new way to show love to your partner, to his cause that you're passionate about, maybe even to your home environment. Maybe you purchase some temporary wallpaper or something from Amazon and you can like do a cool design on the back of your wall. This is also a good day to like go out into some kind of new social group. Uranus rules the 11th house of communities, and maybe put on a cool outfit and go to a new social group, or go to a coffee shop that you haven't been to before and spark a conversation with somebody who's working next to you. Okay, so I'm going to share the story because I feel like this is kind of like Venus sextile Uranus with the moon in Libra. One time I was with my friends at a local cafe. We were on the patio and we were just hanging out, catching up, chit-chatting. And right next to us, we saw this group of people that just seemed kind of creative and cool. And they were working on something. And my friend and I were talking, and somehow like we struck up a conversation with the people. One of them apologized to us and he was like, I'm sorry that we're being so loud. And my friend and I, we were like, that's okay, no worries. And he asked the person who reached out to us, what do you all do? So what are you working on? And they said they were in a band. And then they shared the title of the band, and I got so excited because I realized I had their music on my phone on Spotify. Like they had come up on one of my like Discover Weekly things. And so I'm fangirling. My friend's like, okay, I don't know what she's like so excited about. And it was kind of like a spur of the moment thing. I was also wearing a funky outfit, which is why I'm thinking about this right now. And the guy in the band said, do you want to come swim with, this is so crazy. I'm like laughing, remembering this memory, but this really did happen. He's like, do you want to come swim with seals with us? Like, we're going to take a dive at the La Jolla Shores water and there's seals there. And we just want to do it. We're trying to do this thing every day where we get out of our comfort zone and we do something random. Also, I feel like that's very Venus sextile Uranus with the moon in Libra. So I'm like, sure. I mean, why not? I don't have anything else going on. And my friend is like, good luck. I have to go to therapy. So I say goodbye to him. And I end up going to, they have this place and one of the guys is playing music. And then we all go swimming with the seals. And I didn't even know you could do that. It was a little dangerous, but I got a little scared. I fell, of course. I ended up going out to dinner with them all after. And I don't know, they might have thought I was a little weird. I mean, but that's okay. I had a great time, honestly. I was like, I can't believe I'm hanging out with a band that I listen to right now that I just randomly ran into at this cafe because my friend and I went to catch up, and that they invited me to go swim with the seals. And I never got to swim with seals before. So I'm like, I swam with the seals in this water, and I met this band that I listened to, and the moon is in Libra, and that rules like music sometimes too, and like art. And I was wearing this funky outfit, and it was such a cool memory that like I won't forget ever. I haven't spoken to them since. They didn't end up becoming my best friends, but that's a memory that I'm going to cherish forever. Like that's something that that's a story I love to look back on and share. And that's something that I would love to tell my grandchildren someday if my child decides to have kids, or I'd love to tell my daughter someday, when she is in her 20s, and say, go to the cafe if you feel called to go to the cafe, because you might end up swimming with seals with a band that you like. That's the kind of energy I want to see y'all tap into today. Welcome to Thursday, March 5th at 9:13 a.m. The sun in Pisces makes a sweet trine to Jupiter in Cancer. We are now moving into this softer energy for the week of abundance and positivity. This energy asks the question, when we look at people who are naturally lucky, are they lucky because they believe that they're lucky and they're optimistic? Or are they just lucky and then therefore they're optimistic? This is a question I want to ask you. What came first, like the chicken or the egg? And I'm not necessarily talking to people who are going through extremely challenging, horrific experiences right now. This is not for you. I'm sorry that you went through that. And I would never want to bypass anything that you're going through. And I hope you're getting the support that you need. I'm talking to those of us who get triggered by minor inconveniences. So, like it's like the friend who, and I'm saying this because, okay, I've been this person too. We've all been there. We've all had our nails done and then we complain that we're broke. Okay. This is you. I'm talking to you. You're not broke if you got your nails done, babe. And spend your money however you want. But people in poverty cannot go get their nails done. So Mercury's in retrograde and I'm a Gemini sun in Mercury. So I want to be really mindful of the way I say this, but there is so much that power in being grateful for what you have and understanding that things like having your nails done or having a home or having running water or having access to food are luxuries. And this isn't to tell you to, shut up because kids are starving in Africa. This is more so to remind you to be grateful for this abundance that surrounds you. If you're watching this video right now, chances are you are an abundant person. And it's a harsh reality for us to face. And also we tend to, once we get more resources, our happiness increases for a little bit. But unless we're coming out of the place of survival into a place of maintenance, we get used to it. We get so used to it. And then we wonder, like, when's the next thing coming? So, I got married. Then it's like, okay, am I going to buy a house? And I bought a house. When am I going to decorate the house? Okay, when am I going to now buy the car? When am I now going to buy the bougie gym? When am I now going to get my nails done? And it goes on and on and on and on. And I say want it all. I mean, there's enough money in this world for all of us to have. And I think we need more people in this world to have resources, because when good people have resources, they do good things. So I'm not saying there's anything wrong with wanting more. I'm just saying that, like, let's take a moment to be grateful for what we have. And today, going out into the world and just being grateful for what you have and realizing, like, gosh, how lucky are you? I had this moment when COVID was happening. I was living in Southern California and I would go for these really long walks. And it's like, yeah, I was sad that I had to be isolated and alone. Yeah, I wasn't really down with the mask thing, that I was wearing the mask to protect other people. Yeah, there was a part of me that missed traveling. I mean, I was going to literally be moving to Bali and I got rid of all my stuff. And then COVID came and my passport didn't come in time. And there were so many shifts in my life that happened. But I remember going for these long walks and realizing I'm so freaking lucky right now that, yeah, I have to be isolated and alone, but I can go outside and go for a walk. Because it's January, it's February, it's March. Back where I'm from, it's freezing, it's snowing, there's ice on the roads. So people in lockdown are really locked down. Like they literally can't even go for a walk in their neighborhood. So I need to take a moment to be grateful for the fact that I can at least go outside and get some sunlight. I can go for a walk. And as things opened up, then it was like I could go to the park, I can go to the beach, where it's like my friends and family in these cooler climates, like they couldn't. So just take a moment to be grateful for the things that you do have today. I really want to empower us all to just like take a moment of prayer, take a moment of meditation and be like, wow, to feel into the abundance that surrounds you, to feel into, this is a practice, okay? So homework, I want you to think about going to an environment that feels safe to do this. Gratitude for external things first. So what's in your environment? Gratitude for the sun being out today, the sand beneath my feet, the decorations in my office, gratitude for what's external. Next, I want you to go a little bit deeper. I'm grateful for the clothes that are on my body right now and that they're protecting me from climate issues and from hurting myself. And I'm grateful for my muscles and my bones and their ability to sustain me throughout the day, to do the things that I love. I'm grateful for the cells in my body for regenerating themselves after illness or being sick, or I'm grateful for the air in my lungs so that I can breathe in air, clean air to sustain me. I'm grateful for my heart that is always beating and pumping blood through my veins to keep me alive. I'm grateful for what I've been through in my life, because the things that I've been through, the good, the bad, and the ugly, brought me here today. I'm grateful that my soul chose to be a human, to have a spiritual experience in this human vessel. I'm grateful for the connections in my life, my partner, my friends, my coworkers, even, the bus driver, the mailman, the fire people, right? And we just continue to extend that bubble of gratitude out and out and out today. And then when you walk in that energy, not only are you magnetic, you magnetize more opportunities to you, more connections, more experiences, but also you can now serve others and support them and bring them up. The last thing I'll say about the energy today on Thursday is imagine that you are ice skating with somebody. Imagine that you are a good ice skater. It must be nice. I can't ice skate at all. And so you're a good ice skater and you're on the rink and your friend has never ice skated a day in their life and they're next to you. And you think, okay, I'm going to bring you to the middle of the ice rink and let's see what you got. So you're bringing your friend to the middle of the ice rink and they fall down. What is going to help this situation? Is it going to be more helpful for you to fall down with them? And now, your friend is scrambling to get up and you're trying to get up and then you're trying to get them up. Or is it going to be supportive for you to stay standing and to extend your arm downward to them and pick them up and bring them to meet you at this vibration? Bring that analogy into your day-to-day today and see what happens. Okay, so welcome to Friday, March 6th. Venus, the planet of love, beauty, and finances, is moving into the fiery cardinal sign, the cardinal fire sign of Aries, the beginning, the trailblazer, the warrior, the initiator. And when this is going to be happening until March 30th, and when Venus is in Pisces, the universe doesn't want us to play around or to sit back and let the world happen to us. This is an energy of like, I'm going to step forward and I'm going to make shit happen. I'm going to make shit happen in my business. I'm going to make shit happen in my relationship, in my dating life. I'm going to make shit happen with my beauty routine, on, my finances. And this is a good time to take calculated risks. Emphasis on calculated. Saturn's conjunct Neptune right now in Aries. Mercury is retrograde. This is not the time to go to a casino and blow all your money. But let's say that there is a course that you've been wanting to take and, maybe it's $600 and you have this credit card that you have that you only use for emergencies, it has $5,000 on it, and the limit is 10 grand. So yeah, you might want to work on paying off that 5 grand. But if this course at $600 could make you more money or increase your health and wellness in a way that's exponential, then maybe charge the course. Charge the course, but then freeze that credit card. Now you take that credit card, you put it in your freezer so that, so that you don't use it to now go on a shopping spree because you're going to want a new outfit for the course. No. We're focusing on the one calculated risk. This is a good time to take calculated risks. This is a good time to let people see the real you. So people can't connect with you if they don't know who you are. Also to be brave, be brave to see a bigger picture. And you can work with Mercury retrograde. So you have this bold, fiery energy of Venus in Aries at the same time as Mercury, the planet of communication, siblings, short-term travel, and neighborhoods, is in retrograde. Use this energy to refine, revisit, and renew whatever it is that's important to you right now. So having a relationship check-in, going to therapy, organizing your closet, making better systems for your business. This is a good time to use those energies together and to really marry them. Later tonight at 8:02 p.m. Pacific time, the moon enters Scorpio. And when the moon is in Scorpio, we are encouraged to really dive deep into the waters of our psyche, of our collective, of our emotions, of the world around us. This Scorpio moon energy hates small talk and pleasantries. It really wants deep, connective conversation. Scorpio moon energy is like, okay, I get that y'all are saying all that, but what do you really feel? What do you really think? What's really happening here? These are the questions you might be asking yourself. It's a little existential. You might be like, what is the meaning of life? With this philosophical energy happening in the cosmos at the same time as all that fire is happening, my light ring just went out, so that must be confirmation. I want you to think about not having to share everything. So you could be going through these big revelations, these big experiences, these big aha moments. And it's okay to keep your cards close to your chest for now. And to kind of titrate your emotional vulnerability of, okay, I'm going to take a little bit of a risk today, and I'm going to share this thing that I haven't told this person with them today. And then you're going to take a step back and feel into what that experience was like. And then the next day you can take another risk and another one and another one. And we're starting to kind of you're not just taking the biggest risk you could ever take in your life right now all together at once, because that's going to throw your nervous system for a loop and you're going to feel crazy. Or, but you're also not staying stagnant and stuck and refusing to take risks. Welcome to Saturday, March 7th. The sun is conjunct Mercury today in Pisces, and that exacts at 3:01 a.m. Pacific time. For creators, people in publishing, writers, or business owners, this is the time to do that thing in a more outward way. So for example, post that TikTok draft that you've been having. Post that draft that you've had on TikTok that's just been sitting there forever. It's a good day to do that. This is a good day to send that email, to have that meeting that you've been needing to have, or that intentional conversation with an employee maybe. And we might also see some big news breaking today, especially in your immediate community or with your siblings. Your siblings could call you and have some crazy lore to share today. This is also a good time to finalize those tax documents. And also early this morning at 3:27 a.m. Pacific time, Venus will be meeting Neptune in Pisces in a conjunction, which can kind of bring this very spiritual, creative, emotional, romantic energy to our sky. Be mindful of overspending, overindulging, of maybe, being, how do I say this? If you are in the dating world, take time to get to know somebody. Don't rush into things right away. Let them reveal their true colors to you over time. Because sometimes with this energy, the more shadow side of it could be for lack of a better term, getting swindled or catfished or something like that. So Neptune blurs boundaries and it makes things unclear. And this is helpful with spirituality because we want to be open and available to psychic downloads and spiritual growth. And it also helps us want to help others because the boundary between us and them is less. But in the shadow distortion of it, sometimes it's we can be easily manipulated during transits like this, especially with love, beauty, and finances. We can be enamored with somebody's bright lights and big city dreams that they're telling us about. I don't know if you watch Love is Blind, but this kind of energy to me is giving Alex in Love is Blind. this season 10, he kind of like shares these very flowery, like his story. And I'm not trying to judge him because I understand we're on our own journey, but his story changes a lot. And his partner calls him out on it in many of the scenes of, okay, wait, you told me that you were going to be here on this day and you were here on this day, but you were really here. Where were you? And maybe he literally can't remember, because Neptune also can be like forgetfulness. Like maybe he literally can't remember where he was, but he could also be purposely not sharing certain information with his partner, trying to keep up a facade. And this can happen when we don't show people who we really are. We get exhausted keeping up the facade that we've given to them. That is exhausting, to be somebody that you're not. There's a time and place for everything. I'm not saying that you should wear a pink, purple princess dress to a funeral because that's who you are, that's your authentic self. But at the same time, if people only know a fake version of you, then it is not only going to be exhausting to keep that up, but it's literally not possible. It's not possible. Like eventually that persona, that facade is going to crack. So let people see the real you and take time to get to know the real version of the people that enter your life right now. And the real circumstances, perhaps of maybe a financial dealing or a beauty ritual or something like that. Also, yeah, same thing with Venus, right? It rules beauty. So are the beauty rituals that you do sustainable? Is it something that you could do every day? Can you do a 6-hour skincare routine every day? Probably not. Welcome to Sunday, March 8th. At 6:39 a.m., Venus makes a conjunction to Saturn. So Venus in Pisces is going to be making a conjunction to Saturn in Aries, degree-wise, not sign-wise. And that is at 6:39 a.m. Pacific time. This is a great day to lay any foundations. Honestly, if Mercury wasn't retrograde, I might even say to get married, but to lay any foundations between you and your beloved, to start a new routine together, to have a new, maybe like a vow renewal or some kind of recommitment to each other. Same thing when it comes to your finances or your beauty rituals or routines. This is a good time to make any kind of like investments or create any solid foundation. Saturn really likes it when you create a solid foundation and that you water it every day. And remember that, for example, in love, couples grow in intimacy and their relationship strengthens through hard times more so than through good times. So if you're having a hard time with your partner, understand that part of that experience, let's say that everybody's healthy and not abusive, but let's say you're just going through a hard time. There's a lot that happens when you stick together and you stay through it and you realize that when things get better, you're so grateful that you didn't separate during that hard period, because now you know each other on such a deeper level. And in that cycle of relationships with like power dynamics, there's like a control phase, there's like the honeymoon phase, and there's like a control thing where people are like a power struggle. And then once you move through the power struggle, you get back into the honeymoon phase, which is nice. And that relationship can be revived. Avoid any kind of like impulsive spending, especially if it's like related to wanting to look a certain way, keeping up with the Joneses, or, you know, your neighbor gets a new car. Now you have to get a new car, and, you know, your best friend gets a nose job and now you have to get a new nose job. And there's no shade to the people who got the car and the nose job, but you have to ask yourself, do I actually want this thing, or do I want it just because this person has it? And I think I'm either going to get proximity to this person or I'm going to be more similar to this person. We are all born unique, whole beings. And the best thing that you can give to this world, besides empathy and compassion, that's the first best thing. The second best thing is being you, is being authentically you. We don't need any more people with the same face in the world, or we don't need any more people with the same aesthetic or the same tone or the same way of navigating the world. We all are so unique and special, and we have so much to provide this world when we tap into that. Instead of trying to be more like somebody else, try to be more like yourself. See what happens. Sometimes when we say yes, all the time, when we say yes to one thing, we're saying no to something else. This is a good day to also review your commitments and your time. Saturn is our timekeeper as well. Lastly, later on today at 10:23 p.m. Pacific time, Mercury will be making a trine to Jupiter. So this is a great evening once you've kind of discovered the foundations that you're setting to communicate them, to have a conversation, to send a social media post, to submit your published, or to submit the draft of your book for publishing, to edit or film your podcast. This is a good evening specifically for anything mercurial in nature, maybe to have a bonding conversation with your siblings or your neighbor, or to go on some kind of short-term trip. So that is your forecast for the week of March 2nd to the 8th, 2026. I'm the Astro Mama. I'm here every week sharing major astrological transits so you can swim with the cosmic current instead of against it. If you would prefer to read this horoscope, I have it on Threads and Instagram as well in a text version. I also do personal readings. If you're ever wondering, gosh, my personal life feels crazy right now. What is actually going on with me and my unique chart? I could do a transit reading for you. I do 6-month and 12-month readings so we can see how you more personally can really alchemize this energy, the current cosmic experience that you're having right now, and get the most out of it because it's all going to happen anyway. Like time is passing by anyway. Maybe it's because I have Saturn in my first house. I'm very keen and hip with time in Placidus. And, there's something about the time is passing anyway, so you might as well make the most out of it. And I really feel that astrology can be supportive, literally in just doing that. The, the link to book a reading with me is below. I'm sending y'all so much love, and I'll see you next week. Bye.